Come on, Woodstock! This right here is Woodstock 99.
Total devastation. Bloodthirsty maniacs trying to kill me. And I had a freaking good time too.
Give me some break. Give me some break. Give me some break.
Many in attendance would cite the set by Limp Bizkit as the moment when the festival's vibe turned from fun to fearsome.
I don't think they should have had people like Limp Bizkit here when we're promoting peace and he gets up there and says, peace.
Dude, it's not our fault. That's all I can say.
People were rocking back and forth and there was plywood and they're trying to rip it off.
Things are just getting out of control.
And all of these people were acting like animals.
In this video, we're going to be discussing the festival's history, legacy, and the events that took place.
Listen, people, I don't know how you expect to ever stop the war if you can't sing any better than that. There's about 300,000 of you fuckers out there. I want you to start singing. Come on. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. The next stop is Vietnam. And it's 5, 6, 7. Open up the pearly gates. Well, I ain't no time to wonder why. Whoa, I'm gonna die. All right.
Woodstock represented peace and music, but for the attendees it represented freedom, seeing other people that thought the way they did, permission to be themselves.
I think anybody else understands it.
Well, if they'd come down, maybe they would get a little better understanding of it.
There are numerous occasions that define hippies in the 1960s counterculture era, but one of the most significant and well-known occasions was the Woodstock Music and Art Festival.
Be at the Woodstock Music and Arts Fair, August 15th, 16th, and 17th in Bethel, New York.
Hippie rock promoters Michael Lang and Artie Kornfield first had the idea of building a remote recording studio in the middle of a forest. Joe and John Roberts played a key role in the development of the concept from studio to outdoor concerts. Putting together Woodstock would cost well over $2 million. These entrepreneurs were crucial. The event would be held on a 600-acre dairy farm in Bethel, New York from August 15th through August 18th in 1969. The landscape offered an ideal outdoor setting. The stage was positioned at the base of a hill, enabling fans who could not see up close but could watch from a distance. Now, town residents at first opposed the event.
What makes them feel this way? What makes them dress this way? It's a very complex feeling.
It's just great. Everybody who was up there feels great about it.
And another difficult task was designing the event's sound system, but they eventually found a solution and had got ready for a potential crowd of 150,000 to 200,000 people. The organizers had no idea that the real turnout would exceed their projections, causing severe traffic jams. Even the bands set to perform at the festival were delayed by traffic and were ultimately unable to perform. On the other hand, many sources today cite the amount of drugs consumed at the event as the reasons for lack of violence, considering the enormous numbers of people that were in attendance at the 3-day event. Not to mention, the festival took place on an extremely hot weekend, where rain turned it into nothing but mud, and there were reports of unsanitary conditions and food shortages.
All right, friends, you have seen the heavy groups. Now you will see morning maniac music. Believe me, yeah.
And then there was the music, including legendary performances by The Who, Janis Joplin, Joe Cocker, and Jimi Hendrix.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball.
I'll try.
Oh, baby, how you find? Well, I let it,
Many people view the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival as a representation of the golden age of youth. when people from all walks of life gathered to enjoy music, and is arguably a turning moment in the 20th century that will be remembered as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There would be several more Woodstock concerts that would follow. However, none were as iconic as the original. In 1999, organizers attempted to recreate the attraction and would be taking place in New York City of Rome, that is approximately 155 miles north of the historic Woodstock location in Bethel. Apart from the distance between Woodstock and the other Woodstock location, there were other significant differences, including capacity issues and ticket costs. Passes for the multi-day festival were $150 in advance, which is around $250 today, plus service fees. It was also estimated that up to 400,000 people attended the festival, yet just under 187,000 tickets were reported as sold. Many people think that the festival organizers may have falsified the number of tickets sold in order to keep the remaining revenues. In fact, many people still feel that the terrible climax of Woodstock 99 was the result of this kind of irrational selfishness.
That's a damn shame.
As concert goers were not just merely opening their wallets for their tickets, but for food and beverages as well. Allegedly, any outside food and water that were attempted to be brought into the venue would be confiscated upon entry.
Any food was taken from us, any drinks were taken from us.
And the cost of these needs once inside of the venue would be astronomical. A single bottle of water was said to cost $4, which is equivalent to $7 today. Many festival goers left the event and traveled in the town of Rome to buy supplies, but as soon as they arrived, the shop was overran with festival goers and they soon ran out of goods. As the temperatures rose to 100 degrees, numerous individuals received treatment for heat exhaustion and dehydration. Free water was provided, with water fountains of course, however were filled with incredibly long lines, with wait times in some cases reaching a half hour. Additionally, there weren't enough toilets for the massively inflated crowd and were not properly maintained, so they began to overflow.
You would go to these little troughs where you're supposed to be able to have a drink, and there was people showering in them. So while you just wanted to like douse your face with water or brush your teeth or do something with water, there was just people like full on showering, shampoo, soap. And then at some point, I think somebody busted a pipe because they were so tired of waiting for the water. So then there was just like all this water just going all over the place near the campgrounds and even flowing into the camp area.
The water sprayed from the broken pipes had created mud that people had to step through just to use the facilities. People even began indulging in mud baths to cool off and were unaware that they were actually dousing themselves in human waste. It was also reported that the drinking water had been tainted.
That mud that these people were in, as far as I was concerned, based on what I saw, it was mud and shit. So I did see people covered in that. Thought that was pretty strange, not a thing I would normally see where I come from.
Woodstock, make some motherfucking noise! Devil in that car, I'm going platinum! Fuel the world to Americanize, bury the past, rob us blind, and leave nothing behind. Americanize, Americanize, fuel the world to Americanize, bury the past, rob us blind, and leave nothing behind.
And due to all of these elements of music, in 1999, aggression was a constant undercurrent throughout the festival, nearly from the beginning.
Come on, Woodstock!
Awesome. This right here is Woodstock 99. But alongside the good-natured debauchery, there was an undercurrent of male aggression.
And it became worse as time went on, as concert goers continued to endure these unfavorable circumstances. When the band Limp Bizkit performed that evening on Saturday, July 24th, violence broke out. The audience erupted in a furious mob that tore up the sound towers after being provoked by the band lead singer, Fred Durst.
How many people here ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days and you're gonna break some shit?
I don't think they understood that I meant, okay, let's get rid of all that negativity. That means start jumping. Jumping and singing. It doesn't mean start and burning the place down.
People were rocking back and forth, and there was plywood, and they're trying to rip it off.
It's like a scene where zombies are coming over the castle wall. Things are just getting out of control.
25 feet up in the air, separated from everyone. There's a sea of people, and we had sound difficulties, but from what we saw, it looked like everyone was having an amazing time.
Yeah.
You have no idea that there was anything negative happening.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers started their performance, and rumors began to spread that an unknown artist would be playing before the show ends, which the crowd became ecstatic. Participants had even started to light candles designed for a reflective visual to start bonfires around the venue.
To give flames to an audience that is 3 days into being treated like animals, it was not a very smart decision.
After the Red Hot Chili Peppers played their encore song Fire by Jimi Hendrix, things really start to get out of hand. And when it becomes clear that there will no longer be a closer to end the show, everything starts to come crashing down. Security fences get destroyed. ATMs become looted with over $20,000 stolen. Vendors and merchandise booths were raided and set on fire, and an entire speaker tower was ripped from the ground.
Oh my God!
It took hundreds of police troopers and riot gear to control the crowd and to put an end to this ridiculousness. The following day of Woodstock 99, it was announced that 3 people had died, including 2 from the heat, and the 3rd was hit by a car outside of the venue. The disastrous festival damaged not just the reputation of Woodstock, but also the music of an entire generation.
This Woodstock was all about money.
Who knows? There was so much ecstasy and acid and everything else flowing. Who knows what the mentality? It's a lack of mentality.
It's hard to really know. This was pathetic at the very least. Thank God no one got seriously hurt. No permanent damage to any real buildings, but it's inexcusable, the behavior of these couple hundred knuckleheads.
Do you think that aggro vibe had anything to do with what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's what drew the large white male Abercrombie Fitch population of young, white, male, frustrated, upper middle class. I've been given everything and still I'm mad, but I'm not really sure why I'm mad kind of attitude.
We're 25 feet up in the air, separated from everyone. There's a sea of people, and we had sound difficulties, but from what we saw, it looked like everyone was having an amazing time.
Yeah.
You have no idea that there was anything negative happening.